Should the Utah Jazz pursue Luka Doncic? Now, again, I will tell you, I've not spoken to my Jazz sources this week, but I have heard unequivocally that that's not their path. That is not what they are looking to do. And I understand a lot of Dallas Maverick fans watch the show. Dallas, I think, is one of our top 5 markets. Luka Doncic is a problem. He's not a solution. And I think his toxic relationship with his teammates, I think his inability to take feedback, I think there were questions about what shape he was in over the summer.
No doubt.
I think that's HIPAA.
And he comes in and just has a massive season. But the word that you hear about Luka Doncic on a regular basis is that he's high maintenance. He's a problem. He's frustrating because he's uncontrollable. He's going to do what he wants to do. He is a guy that has run off multiple teammates, whether that was Spencer Dinwiddie, Kristaps Porzingis, certainly. You look at the frustration in Tim Hardaway Jr., like he's just had these teammates that have repeatedly had issues and frustrations with him. And he has not performed in some very big moments. This issue with the referees is a huge problem. This issue with technical fouls is becoming a larger problem. Is he a great scorer? Yes. Is he a player on talent alone that you want on your team? He is. The problem is he's a cancer in your locker room because he isn't a unifier. He's a superstar that doesn't bring people together. He isolates himself, and so he isolates his teammates because he doesn't pass the ball, and he's not a rotation player, right? So he's not going to, when he's double-teamed, he's not going to rotate the ball. He's going to try and get fouled. And on 7 out of 10 plays, they're not going to blow the whistle. So what happens? He throws himself on the floor, bitches at the official while the other team is running layup drills. And it happened too much after the trade deadline. Him and Kyrie never really clicked. There was that possession at the end of a game where they couldn't get a shot up because they couldn't decide who should take the shot. Like, this is a problem now. And I think you're looking at a guy in Luka Doncic that ran off a pretty good coach in Rick Carlisle.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at a guy now who does not listen to what Jason Kidd is telling him. I think it's going to be very difficult to marry Luka Doncic up to another star. And this is a league of duos now. And if we're learning anything out of that Philly series, it is that James Harden and it's hard to even say it, but that Joel Embiid are a duo because Joel is so dominant on his own. But if I look at Anthony Davis, like this is an Anthony Davis conversation. The Lakers, I did a short on the channel today. The Lakers have an Anthony Davis problem because it's no longer available in Lakerland to blame Rob Pelinka, the general manager, for all the Lakers' problems. He did his job. And now Anthony Davis isn't doing his job.
After the street closed Davis.
You have an injured, aging LeBron James, who's clearly not the same guy off of this foot injury. And Anthony Davis, who's supposedly healthy right now, or healthy enough to put up 30, 40 points a game, putting up another 11-point performance last night in a humiliating blowout loss that, by the way, I think is of very little or no consequence. But when you talk about bringing Luka Doncic to Salt Lake City, I would tell you that would be a massive mistake.
Yeah, no question about it. It's a mistake, and I think the Jazz have done so well building a culture that's free of that guy that this next phase is where how many championships you're going to win is defined. Because if you sign Luka, you will win 0 championships.
I agree. If
you draft VW, you will win 0 championships. If you do not build a team with proper leadership structure, you will not win championships.
You know, it's funny you bring that up about VW. I was talking to a guy a couple of days ago who was saying that teams around the NBA are starting to view, because now teams are really digging into what Victor Wembanyama is, and teams are starting to view Victor Wembanyama as the large project that he is. Because when you really look at his tape and you pay attention to the details of what he is as a player, Victor Wembanyama is a wonderfully talented offensive player who physically is incapable of competing in the NBA. Like if you drop him in the NBA today, he will be a spot-up three-point shooter.
Yeah.
Because he's so long and he's never been tested against talent at this level. This is a guy that's probably 3 years away from being a focal point of any NBA team. So if you are a team like, I don't know, pick your poison, the Oklahoma City Thunder, how do you bring in a Victor Wembanyama? If you're the Utah Jazz and you have a guy in Lauri Markkanen who's probably got a 2 to 3 year window max to win a championship, and that's your foundational offensive player, and then you surround him with an Ochai Agbaji and you surround him with a Walker Kessler, ask yourself, how does Victor Wembanyama fit into that rotation? And he probably doesn't. And here's the other thing that I think is so fascinating. Is Victor Wembanyama a modern-day NBA body?
Yeah, no.
He's not.
Nope.
He's not. And you're looking at a guy who, if you draft Victor Wembanyama, and he will be the number 1 pick, and if you're Detroit, let's say, and you draft Victor Wembanyama, you're going to have to put a ton of muscle on him.
Do you even lift?
I would guess you would allow him to play summer league, but not recreational summer league, right? You're not going to allow him to go into these summer runs. And how long does it take him to get used to playing in the NBA? Because right now he's at a point in his life where nobody has ever said no to him. He told a coach in his professional league that he's in now, he told his coach, I am not playing center. They said, we want you to be a 5. He said, I am not playing center. And he openly admits that.
Mm-hmm.
How's that going to fly in Detroit or Houston or Orlando?
Yeah, well, I think the problem is that he has this mindset of not wanting to play center, and at the same time, his body supports that right now because he couldn't physically play center. But the problem is that the guy's handle, everyone always says, hey, he's got this elite handle for his size. And I don't even disagree. He's got, for his size, a really good handle. There's no question about that. But in the NBA specifically, what does his game look like? Well, to me, his game is you're going to be a pick and pop big, and ideally you would shoot a lot of threes. I just think that's his game. And the other thing is, when you draft this cat, you cannot overplay him the first half of the season. You have got to throttle those minutes and manage his body, because if you overrun him, if dude is playing 35 a night, he will not last 30 games in this league. I'm telling you.
Guys at the 4-5 take much longer to develop in this league. And I think he's probably a 3-4 in this league. And so the question I ask is, how does he hold up? Name a 3 in this league. Can he guard a Lauri Markkanen? Can he guard a Paolo Banchero? Can he guard a Kevin Durant? Right? Can he guard a LeBron James?
I mean, think about these names. Like
I don't know how.
I hope people understand it. And again, I'm not even trying to hate on VW, but I just want you guys to consider the names. Like Paolo Banchero, I know he's 1 year into the league, right? Rookie of the year, everything's amazing. But you're talking about a guy, isn't Paolo Banchero like 6'8", 240-ish, 230?
That's a tough road to hoe, dude.
Like, good luck, dude. Like, do you really think that Paolo Banchero's never put a shoulder into the chest of a guy who's 7 feet tall? That's what he gets paid to do for a living.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I just think it's incredible that we think that guys like Embiid, that guys like LeBron, for how many ever years he's got left, like these guys that are elite trained basketball players are not just going to run through this kid because he is not ready physically. I agree. 3 years from now, if he has the Giannis level transformation, which we've never seen before,
never,
right? Until Giannis, we had never seen somebody have that level of, hey, come into the league as a stick, and now you're a grown-ass man with a championship on the team that drafted you. Never seen it before. It's possible, just never seen it before. If he does that, I will change my tune on VW in the ceiling of his career. But I do not view this guy as a championship player, the guy that's going to take you there. Like, I don't view him as that.
What do you say to Victor Wembanyama if you are the Detroit Pistons and you are playing the Milwaukee Bucks?
Good luck. You're playing when Lopez is in.
I don't know what you say to Victor Wembanyama when you're playing the New York Knicks?
Mitchell Robinson, dude.
Or Julius Randle. But compare him to the 3-4s. The 3s and the 4s in the NBA in the next 2 years. What do you say about Julius Randle? What do you say if you go up and down the list? What do you say about a Pascal Siakam, a Lauri Markkanen? I mean, you just how does he guard? How does he guard any of those names? I don't know how do you guard a Mikal Bridges?
Is that a real question?
Right? Like and that doesn't even account for the 4-5 pick and roll.
Yeah.
How does he guard a Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler in pick and roll? You're fucked. Like all serious, you're 7'4", 35 pounds. How are you guarding
finals?
Okay, well, we'll double.
Back is broken.
Come double, but where is he going to rotate to?
By the way,
that's the issue.
The other thing I think no one's talked about with this kid in the games he's played overseas. Do you understand how elite NBA guys are at getting the whistle?
Oh, my God.
Do you understand that? So when your arms are that long, do you really think an NBA player is not going to get you to reach and get you in foul trouble? Like, I don't think people think about this stuff. Like you bring up Mikal Bridges. Dude, Mikal Bridges, Austin Reeves, like these guys that learned how to play the way James Harden plays and get fouls. Dude, he's in deep trouble, bro. I'm telling you, man. It's not going to be some cakewalk for this kid.
Now, there's also going to be matchups on the other end that guys are going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But I think when you look at Paolo Banchero is probably the best, thing. Like he's a 3-4 guy that's 6'10", 250.
Yeah. 6'10", 250, and he's athletic as hell.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. Travis Bird, the noted Victor Wembanyama homer on this show.
Yeah.
Victor would put them in the penitentiary, lock them down, and make them cry like babies. Okay. At least we're objective. Brandon Butler, he's Rudy with an offensive game. He will be great against mid players and will get abused by great players around the rim. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Why are you cooking this kid? Give him time to develop, for fuck's sake. James Knight says. Where are you at? Like, truly, honestly, where are you at with Victor Wembanyama?
Yeah, I mean, it's what I've been saying. I mean, I think the guy just physically can't play in the league. I mean, James, look, you can say that we're cooking the guy, but what is there in the NBA game? What is there to say that this guy's game is going to translate? Okay, let's be objective about it. His jumper definitely translates to the NBA. No doubt about it. The guy can shoot it at his size for a 5, a 4, whatever. He can shoot it with the best of them. I don't have any doubt that this guy, if he wanted to, could be a tremendous pick and pop big that stretches the floor for a team. Now, my hesitation with that style of play, though, is getting up and down, right? So if you're playing with OKC, let's say, or you're playing with the Rockets or any number of teams that like to get up and down, this is a big. You really want him running at that pace for every game. I don't want that. I need a team that plays, not the fastest and not the slowest, just an average, nice, easy pace for NBA basketball. But the problem is that Victor Wembanyama is just not ready physically. That's why I think he's not going to be some prolific NBA player. Yeah, sure, let him develop. But James, let me ask you this. The conversation really isn't around, hey, let this kid develop, right? If you think about what everyone's saying about him and all the excitement and all the hype and just the hype train around this kid is all about, hey, he's going to get drafted and he's going to be the savior of an organization, right? You've got folks like Travis Bird out here talking about how this guy is just going to be the Jesus Christ of basketball and the best thing that's ever been seen in the NBA. Now, obviously, James, and obviously everyone else, you all know that that's not going to be the case with this cat, and I don't think that'd be the case with any player coming out of the league. But I just get a little bit tired of all the hype about Victor Wembanyama when you haven't seen him play a game against anybody who is remotely as talented as an NBA player. Nobody he's played could start in the NBA. Do you realize that? The guys he's playing right now would not be in a starting five. Would they be bench players? Sure. Absolutely. But they would not be in the starting five of an NBA roster. They just would not be. They're not skilled enough. Their bodies are not ready enough. So that's why I say, when we talk about this kid, yeah, sure, let him develop. But as a number one pick in the league, this isn't the NFL, right? This isn't Anthony Richardson sitting behind Buddy for 3 years, or this isn't, Patrick Mahomes behind Alex Smith, or Aaron Rodgers behind Brett Favre.
And not
dude.
on the Utah Jazz.
Like, get the hell out of here with, hey, he can develop and you can take years. Dude, he's a number one overall pick. Now, you want to talk about this kid in a hypothetical world at number 10 overall, hell, even number 5 overall. Yeah, 3-year window, great. Not number 1 overall. And I maintain, and I had this stance when it was Zion and Ja. I maintain, and Ja's career's gone sideways now. He's a villain. He's done some dumbass things off the floor.
Yeah.
But when he was coming out of Murray State, I believe it was, and he was number 2 in the draft, I said that kid should be number 1 in the draft, and Zion's going to be an injury problem. Zion's an injury problem, and so will this kid be.
Yep. Let's see. Salty Drunk. I don't recall any rookies taking over the league in their first couple of seasons.
LeBron James.
Let's go back. Let's go back. Paulo Banchero dominated
over the league.
Absolutely dominated this past year. No doubt about that. He was the number 1 pick in the 2022 draft. 2021 was Cade Cunningham. Did not dominate. Got hurt. Was out. Did he play at all this year?
Yeah, I think he played 12 games, something like that.
Anthony Edwards has dominated. Absolutely. He was 2020. So, I mean, I think it happens more than you recognize.
But again, I think it's deflecting to be like, hey, rookies don't dominate regularly. We're not talking about your average rookie. We're not. We're talking about generational, best you've ever seen guys.
And it's the billing that's the problem here. He's being billed as a guy that is the greatest player ever. Like, he's the freak of his size. Like, you can't. You either want the hype or you don't.
Yeah, you don't get it both ways.
And I think there are a lot of number 1 picks that are busts. I mean, I don't know. Is Zion Williamson a guy that's a bust? He probably is.
Yeah.
But when he plays, he dominates. So it can be done. But is he at all what does this kid say to Jaren Jackson Jr.? This is my point. Everybody, and I take Travis Bird with a grain of salt, but there are so many people saying that Victor Wembanyama is going to be the greatest player we've ever seen. Well, how does he handle Jaren Jackson Jr. then? If he's the greatest player we've ever seen, how do you handle one of the preeminent 4 or 5 combo guys in the NBA?
And my other question is, if we look at the front offices in the league, right, who are paid professionals, paid to not listen to hype, paid to evaluate players. Hey, take the hype out. Look at this kid. Okay, let's start with his body. Then let's see how his body translates to his game and how those two translate to the league. You're telling me paid professionals are sitting here saying this guy's going to be one of the greatest players of all time. And yet Giannis was not billed as one of the greatest players of all time, even though I believe he is trending that direction. Especially when you consider the fact that Budenholzer was just fired and Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to leave that organization. You're telling me he doesn't have an opportunity to get to all-time great level? Come on now, dude.
I think he does. So anyway, my point is, you put Paulo Banchero in Salty or anybody else in the discussion you guys want to put him in. If you look at who's one of the better power forward shooting guards, Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. Scotty Barnes or Victor Wembanyama? I'm taking Scotty Barnes right now. I'm not going to take Victor Wembanyama. You can go up and down the list of, sure, am I going to take Jonathan Kuminga over Victor Wembanyama? No, of course not. Of course not. Chet Holmgren? No, he got hurt.
Yep.
But Chet's an interesting example because he's 7'1" and Victor's 7'4".
Isn't Victor just an extreme version of Chet?
I think he is.
Right? Chet can shoot. Chet's got handle. Chet had a wonderful career at Gonzaga.
Yeah. I just think it is. It is what it is. LeBron averaged 25 and 6 his rookie year. I was at LeBron's rookie debut in Sacramento. He is in my opinion, one of the greatest rookies to ever debut in the NBA. I look at, obviously, if you're an all-timer, if you're Magic Johnson, the guy dominated out of the gate. Michael Jordan dominated out of the gate. Larry Bird dominated out of the gate. Dr. J, like all the greats, go back through recent history. They all dominated out of the gate. Like there are some that are slower, but
yeah, look at Mike M's comment there at the bottom about Kobe. Because I agree with this one. Hey, Kobe took 3-4 years to develop.
Yeah, but I also, by the way, I covered Kobe in his younger days. Kobe was different because Kobe didn't care. Kobe shot several air balls against, I believe it was Charlotte in the playoffs. Changed his life. But make no mistake about it, Kobe Bryant was a really good player early in his career. A really good player. So it's not as though Kobe was some scrub.
Yeah.
But if you look at the best players of this generation, and I would compare him even to Luka, because Luka played in Europe, right? Luka was a professional basketball player in his early teens. So is Victor Wembanyama. Luka came out and dominated. But why did Luka come out and dominate? Because he's a 2-3. He's not a 4-5.
And he's got a body that can take abuse.
And he's a fat ass.
But even
being very polite.
But like I agree, he is fat by NBA standards. But even still, like you can safely say, hey, outside of tearing an ACL or major ligament injuries that are unforeseen that you're just not going to be able to project, they just happen. Luka's body should hold up pretty well. And especially when you look at the fact that he's not a high-flying transition guy. He is a half-court work one-on-one guy. Those guys are durable as hell. And I just think, like, VW is being heralded as one of the best players of all time waiting to happen. That is the narrative on Victor Wembanyama. So it does beg the question, well, hey, if he gets you one championship in 5 years, was it worth it? And I'm saying no. I'm saying at number one overall, you got to have a guy that can help you get 3 in 6 years. You got to have a guy that you can put in that starting 5 and they will help you go where you need to go.
That's right. I agree 100%. Let's see who else. Durant was 20. You guys got to get off of stats. I understand why everybody goes to stats, but it is. And Kevin Durant is not at all, in my opinion, comparable to Victor Wembanyama. Kevin Durant is far more mature. Kevin Durant went to college. Kevin Durant, like,
way more athletic.
Just a completely different dude.
Yeah.
And I think Kobe's this guy because Kobe didn't go to college. Kobe went to high school. Kobe was a guy that didn't start game. He was an absolute murderer from the first time I ever saw him, Kobe Bryant. But I don't know how many people even know Kobe like came off the bench. I think his third year or his fourth year he started. But it's not like Kobe rolled out and was a starter right away, but he was on the Lakers. He was on the LA Lakers. It's a very different deal than the Detroit Pistons, right? Like it's you have to understand the situations and the guys around them and why you're starting or why you're not or why you're Kobe dominated. Like I remember shoot-arounds in games and watching him play one-on-one and like his third or fourth year where he was just murdering people, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's just different. Mike M says Kobe was young and raw with a difficult transition from high school. And he had to learn how to play basketball is the other thing you got to remember. Kobe didn't come into the league as a polished product. He came into the league, raw is the exact right word. Kobe was a kid.
Yeah.
Kobe was not mature. Kobe was a kid. Now, he was a little different because he traveled the world. He spoke multiple languages. His dad was a professional, but Kobe was learning to play professional basketball when he got to the Lakers.
Yeah.
And remember, he was also traded on draft night. So there's something in that too. Willie Wilson. Luka's a great player, but not a great team player. No, he's not. And he can't shoot free throws. Well, that's a great point. It drives me crazy. Exactly right. It is not His game's not the issue. His off-the-floor problems are the issues. VW did lie about their diesel carbon footprint. Okay. Salty Drunk, I can't help but think you guys are basing your opinion on all the hype rather than the eye test. Dude, there's what eye test? There is a volume of Victor Wembanyama video.
I've watched his game. Dude, they were live on NBA TV, man.
You can go on YouTube, you can go on the internet and find hours and hours and hours and hours of Victor Wembanyama tape.
Yeah.
We've seen it all.
Yeah.
We've seen it all. It's not. The issue is, like with the hype, he'll never live up to the hype. He won't. He'll never live up to the hype. It's almost impossible. That would be akin to like Canyons Golf living up to the hype of being the most beautiful golf course in Utah.
They actually live up to the hype.
Oh, wait, that's right. They do. Canyons Golf, the official golf club of the Monty Show. Our guy Darren Ingram, the teaching professional there, like he is the dude at Canyons Golf. And listen, if you are looking for a way to market your business, Canyons Golf has everything you need. Their GPS system in their golf carts is absolutely customizable, and it reaches a higher tier of clientele. Because when you look at Canyons Golf, you're at the beautiful, beautiful Park City Mountain Resort, Canyons Village. You get a different set of customer up there, right? So if you're looking to market and you want to be seen, call Darren Ingram at Canyons Golf. Let him know, hey, Monty said that you can hook me up with GPS marketing. He'll absolutely take care of you. But by the way, go play around, because I cannot wait for Canyons Golf to be open to the public this year so we can all go up there and play. It is the most beautiful course in Utah. The views, the different level changes, the mountains, the greens, the fairways, the grounds are immaculate. Canyons Golf, the official golf club of the Monty Show. Couple more on Victor Wembanyama. McKinley Cutler says the eye test is hard because he's playing against what is essentially third-tier college teams.
Yeah.
Don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Mike Rochburns.
So see what he did there.
Mike Rochburns.
Right.
Like my crotch burns.
Right.
I need a dick.
You know.
Hugh Janus
Says,
I
hey,
need
boys.
a dick in me.
How are you?
Holden Middick.
McKinley Cutler, if you look, VW already has an injury history. He got injured 4 times this year. He tried to play on the best team in France. Yeah, he's young. We'll see what happens. Who are the top 5 markets that follow the Monty Show and in order? Jeez. I would have to go, like it. I don't know the order. Like, A, why do you care? B, like, I don't know the order off the top of my head. I probably should. It's only my business, but I probably should. It's fine. Travis Bird, Lucas always bins for me. Okay. C. Kaufman just got done eating a steak, potato, and beans for dinner. Oh, my God. That sounds so good.
A steak potato.
I just got done eating steak, potato, and beans for dinner. The musical fruit. Beans are the musical fruit. Salty Drunk. The poor kid hasn't even stepped on the floor for an NBA game, and he's already been cooked by the Monties.
When's the last...
Okay.
Were we wrong about Rudy, dude? Were we like way off on Donnie? Like were we like? I'm just telling you, man. Like
Joe Ingles.
Like you want to cut the kid a break, and I'm not cutting anybody a break who's a number 1 overall pick.
Nope.
I'm not doing it, bro.
Anthony Bennett.
Yeah. Now I think he's gonna be better than Anthony Bennett, which isn't saying much, but I'm just telling you, when the guy plays 20 games and then tears his ACL and he's out for the year, and then he struggles to get back, and then he tears his Achilles because he was trying to rehab his ACL, and then he can't play, and you wasted 5 years of your team's success, then we'll see who's cooking who.
Yeah. And James, this is one of those ones that'll live forever.